Part 1. Understanding Unnecessary Speech, Mudaguchi. One of the central teachings of Buddha is rooted in the profound impact our words have on ourselves and others. Words are not mere sounds. They carry energy, intent, and influence. In Buddhist philosophy, unnecessary speech, or wutoko, Mudaguchi, is seen as an impediment to personal growth and harmonious relationships. Hattoizu Mudaguchi, wutoko, refers to words that serve no constructive purpose. This includes gossip, unsolicited advice, mindless chatter, or anything spoken with ill intent or ignorance. Buddha emphasizes the importance of being mindful of what we say, as unnecessary words can cause misunderstanding, conflict, or harm. The root of unnecessary speech often lies in ego-driven desires, the need to be heard, to dominate conversations, or to fill silence with words for the sake of speaking. Buddha's teaching suggests that instead of rushing to speak, we should embrace silence and reflection. It's a pathway to cultivating wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Part 2. The importance of silence in Buddhist teachings. In the context of Buddhism, silence is often viewed not as emptiness, but as fullness of understanding. It is through silence that one can listen deeply, not only to others but to their own inner wisdom. Buddha himself demonstrated this principle in his teaching methods, often guiding his disciples not through words but through profound silence. The symbolic meaning of silence. Silence, in this sense, is not passive but active. It allows for deeper awareness and comprehension of the present moment. By silencing the ego's constant need to assert itself through words, we open up to truly listening to the world around us. In Mudaguchikai, or gatherings aimed at practicing nonverbal wisdom, the participants engage in mindful listening and thoughtful communication. This principle can greatly enrich personal and professional relationships, as it fosters an environment of empathy and mutual respect. Part 3. Becoming a skillful listener, 聞き上手になる. In Buddhist practice, mastering the art of listening is as important as cultivating inner peace. Listening is not simply about hearing words. It's about understanding the emotions, intentions, and experiences behind them. True listening requires presence, something that's increasingly rare in the fast-paced modern world, where distractions are abundant. The 3 levels of listening. Listening to words, yen yirawan ku, the surface level of communication, where one hears the literal meaning of the words being spoken. This is often where most people stop, but it's only the beginning. Listening to emotions, ganshin wan ku, a deeper level where one tries to understand the feelings and emotions behind the words. What is the speaker trying to convey beyond the literal meaning? Listening with compassion, suridawan ku, the deepest level of listening where one listens not just with the mind but with the heart. This type of listening is devoid of judgment and filled with compassion, seeking to truly understand and support the speaker. Practical steps to becoming a skillful listener. Practice mindful presence. Before engaging in a conversation, take a moment to center yourself. Let go of distractions and be fully present with the other person. Avoid interrupting. Even if you think you know what the other person is going to say, resist the urge to interrupt. Let them express their thoughts completely. Reflect and clarify. After the speaker is finished, take a moment to reflect on what was said. Ask clarifying questions if needed, but do so with the intent to understand, not to judge. Respond with compassion. When it's your turn to speak, respond in a way that shows empathy and understanding. Avoid giving advice unless it's requested, and refrain from making the conversation about yourself. By honing these skills, we can deepen our connections with others and create more meaningful and harmonious relationships. Part 4. The practice of Mudaguchikai, Wutuo Koei, a gathering for mindful communication. The concept of wutoku originates from the idea of a gathering where participants practice the avoidance of unnecessary speech. This practice can take place in both informal and formal settings, serving as a space where individuals commit to mindful communication. How to host a Mudaguchikai gathering. Set a clear intention. Before beginning, participants should agree on the purpose of the gathering. This might be to explore a particular topic, to support one another, or simply to practice being fully present with one another. Create a safe environment. Ensure that everyone feels comfortable and respected. Establish guidelines that encourage active listening and discourage interruptions or judgment. Silence as a tool. Silence is a core element of Mudaguchikai. Allow moments of silence to naturally occur during the conversation. These pauses create space for reflection and deeper understanding. Speak mindfully. When it's time to speak, participants should do so with mindfulness. Words should be chosen carefully and delivered with the intention to support, encourage, and uplift. Practice gratitude and humility. At the conclusion of the gathering, express gratitude for the opportunity to listen and be heard. Recognize that true communication is a shared experience that requires both humility and openness. Through regular participation in such gatherings, individuals can cultivate the habit of mindful communication in their daily lives. This practice not only benefits personal relationships, but also fosters a deeper sense of inner peace and contentment. Part 5. The impact of mindful communication on relationships. Mindful communication, rooted in the principles of Buddhism, has the power to transform relationships on a profound level. When we approach conversations with the intention to listen rather than speak, we open the door to greater understanding and compassion. How mindful listening affects relationships. Reduces conflict. Many conflicts arise from misunderstandings or miscommunication. By listening deeply, we can prevent unnecessary disagreements and find solutions that benefit both parties. Strengthens emotional bonds. When people feel truly heard, they are more likely to open up and share their innermost thoughts and feelings. This strengthens emotional connections and fosters trust. Encourages mutual respect. Mindful communication creates an atmosphere of respect where each person's thoughts and feelings are valued. This mutual respect is the foundation of strong, healthy relationships. Applying these principles in daily life. At home, use mindful listening to deepen your relationships with family members. Practice being fully present during conversations and avoid multitasking while someone is speaking to you. At work. In professional settings, mindful communication can enhance collaboration and reduce misunderstandings. It also fosters a culture of respect and inclusivity. In social settings, whether with friends or acquaintances, practicing mindful listening can make social interactions more meaningful and enjoyable. Conclusion: embracing the wisdom of Buddha in modern life. In our fast-paced world, where words are often spoken without much thought, the teachings of Buddha on avoiding unnecessary speech and becoming a skillful listener offer timeless wisdom. By practicing mindfulness in our communication, we can cultivate deeper connections, reduce conflicts, and enrich our relationships in ways that words alone cannot achieve. The Mudaguchikai gathering serves as a practical tool for fostering these principles in everyday life. Through regular practice, we can learn to listen with compassion, speak with intention, and live in harmony with those around us. In embracing these teachings, we not only improve our relationships, but also bring ourselves closer to the inner peace and wisdom that lies at the heart of Buddhist practice. The power of silence in relationships. In the realm of human relationships, silence is often seen as a void or an absence. However, in Buddhist teachings, silence can be a profound tool of communication. We tend to think that to connect with others, we must constantly engage in conversation or offer advice. But often, what others need most is not our words, but our presence and attention. Silence allows space for deeper connection. When we resist the urge to immediately respond or offer solutions, we give the other person room to explore their own thoughts and emotions. In that space, true understanding can arise. The Buddha encouraged his followers to practice noble silence, not just the absence of words, but the presence of mindful awareness. In relationships, whether they are between family members, friends, or colleagues, the art of silence can strengthen bonds. It teaches us to be with others without the need to control, fix, or judge. This kind of listening, with full attention and minimal interference, fosters trust and respect. Imagine a conversation where both people are fully present, not trying to outdo one another or jump in with their own stories, but simply listening and allowing space for the other. It's an experience that can transform the dynamics of any relationship. Listening as a form of compassion. In Buddhist practice, compassion is at the heart of all interactions. Compassion doesn't always mean offering help or advice. Sometimes the most compassionate act we can perform is to simply listen without judgment. We live in a world where everyone is talking, but few are really listening. True listening requires us to let go of our ego, our need to be right, or to prove something. It is about fully opening ourselves to the experience of the other person, giving them the gift of our undivided attention. Resisting the urge to speak. One of the hardest habits to break is the urge to speak. In conversations, especially when we feel strongly about something, it's easy to jump in, interrupt, or give unsolicited advice. But Buddhist teachings remind us to practice restraint. Before we speak, we can ask ourselves a few simple questions. Is what I am about to say true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Does it improve upon the silence? If the answer to these questions is no, then perhaps it's better to remain silent. The Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." This teaches us the value of thoughtful, measured speech over incessant chatter. By resisting the impulse to fill every silence with words, we create space for more meaningful interactions. This practice, known as right speech, samavaka, is one of the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path and is crucial to living a life of mindfulness and harmony. The Buddhist practice of mindful speech. In Buddhist philosophy, speech is seen as a powerful tool. Words have the ability to harm or heal, to create conflict or bring peace. The Buddha emphasized the importance of right speech as one of the key aspects of ethical living. Right speech encourages us to speak in ways that are truthful, kind, and beneficial. Mindful speech means being aware of the impact of our words before we speak. It's about taking responsibility for what we say and recognizing that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. In a sense, mindful speech is an extension of mindful listening. By listening deeply and speaking carefully, we create the conditions for more harmonious relationships. Practicing mindful speech doesn't mean we avoid speaking difficult truths or engaging in challenging conversations. It means that when we do speak, we do so with awareness and care, aiming to uplift rather than harm, to connect rather than divide. Speech is karma, the long-term consequences of words. In Buddhism, karma is not just about actions, but also about words and thoughts. Every word we speak creates ripples, influencing not only the present moment, but also future experiences. The words we use today can shape our relationships, our environment, and even our destiny. The Buddha taught that negative speech, such as gossip, lies, or harsh criticism, generates negative karma, leading to suffering. On the other hand, words that are kind, compassionate, and truthful create positive karma, leading to greater peace and harmony in our lives. Understanding speech as karma gives us a deeper incentive to choose our words wisely. Each time we speak, we have the opportunity to contribute to a more compassionate and peaceful world, or to add to the noise and conflict that already surrounds us. By practicing mindful and skillful speech, we not only improve our own lives, but also help create a more harmonious environment for those around us. Embracing silence in a noisy world. In modern society, silence is often undervalued. We are surrounded by constant noise, from the chatter of social media to the 24-hour news cycle. Silence can feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. But from a Buddhist perspective, silence is a profound source of wisdom and peace. The Buddha often retreated into silence to reflect and gain insight. In the same way, embracing silence in our daily lives can help us connect more deeply with ourselves and others. Silence allows us to listen not only to others, but also to the quiet voice within ourselves, our intuition, our deeper wisdom. In a world that constantly demands our attention, cultivating moments of silence can be a radical act of self-care. It allows us to step back, to pause, and to return to a place of balance and clarity. In the space of silence, we can find the answers to questions we didn't even know we were asking. Conclusion: the path to harmonious communication. The teachings of the Buddha on listening and speech provide timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. In a world filled with noise, practicing the art of listening and avoiding unnecessary speech can lead to greater peace, understanding, and connection with others. By cultivating mindful listening, compassionate silence, and skillful speech, we can improve not only our relationships, but also our overall well-being. These practices help us create a more harmonious, compassionate, and peaceful life, both for ourselves and for those around us. As we move through our daily lives, we can carry these teachings with us. The next time we are tempted to interrupt or offer unsolicited advice, we can pause, take a breath, and ask ourselves, is this necessary? Is this kind? Does it improve upon the silence? If the answer is no, perhaps silence is the wisest response.